All right, we're going to work with the date object today and see some of the methods that you can use on the date object. What I have is I'm starting you off with some sample code, and the first thing that we want to do is we want to create a date object, and we're going to do that through our variable creation process. So we're going to say var d equals new date, okay? And what that does right there is it just creates a variable, and we're going to use this over and over again. We'll do the document get element by, remember the whole capitalization structure. The first letter is not capitalized, and then every other word is capitalized. Get element by ID demo, and then enter HTML equals D. So let's just see what that looks like. Save work and show web page. All right, so that takes today's date and today's time. It just creates a new object with today's date and today's time. Now, that's good, and we'll use that over and over again. But what if we wanted to create a date of our own choosing? Let's say we wanted to compare dates, or we wanted to create a date for the user's birthday or something like that. So we're going to say O'Leary, O'Leary birthday, and we'll say new date. But then we're going to pass it parameters. And this takes the parameters year, date, or month, day, and it can also take the parameters of the time, but we won't use that right now. So right now what I'm doing is I'm creating a new instance of a date object which has specific values. Okay, so let's do that, and we're going to have that be O'Leary birthday. Okay, so I've created the new instance. This was just a date object that had that defaults to whatever the time was that you create it, and then this has specific variables, specific values associated with it. Okay, save work and show web page. So this was Monday, November 8th. So this must be set up on that same variable. So 10 for some reason is November, so I guess I would have to do 9. That's interesting. Okay, Friday, October 8th, 1971. Interesting. Something to think about. I'll have to investigate that a little bit more. But, so you can pass it dates or pass it times and create your own instances. So what else you can do on this is you can work on a specific date. So for instance, let's say we want to get the year of a date. So we'll say FY, full year. We'll say O'Leary birthday, and the method is get full year. Okay, so now change that, and I'll say FY. So now this is going to return 1971, and you can do that same thing with multiple methods that are available for the date function. So for instance, here is the month, get month instead of get full year. And we'll put this in here as M. So this gives it as 9. And then you can also get the day of the week. So let's create one there, day of week. And we'll actually do that on today's day. So we're going to use our D variable that we created, and we're going to say get day, right? And so let's just put that in there as day of week. So this gets us, today's Tuesday, so we're going to get it today's day. Now what's cool, I want to introduce this. This is kind of an introduction of arrays. What you can do here as well is you can say, I want to create a listing of all the days of the week. Okay, so var days. Now right now it's just like creating any variable, but what we're creating, instead of just a string, we're creating an array. And an array is a list of choices. So we create that by, and we'll do this later, don't worry if you don't get this immediately. Sunday, Monday, we create it in quotes separated by commas. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Very fun to watch somebody type the days of the week. Friday and Saturday. And then you end with your thing. And what this has done is it create your close bracket. What this does is it creates an array of variables. And what's cool about an array is that I can access each one by its number in the list. So this becomes days 0, days 1, days 2, days 3, days 4, days 5, days 6. And so what now I can do is I can say day of week text equals the days, right? This variable, but rather than I can specify it by what was the day of the week that was returned, right? This is day of the week. D equals get day. Remember that returned to 2. So now I'm going to take that number 2, put that in here as my locator in my array. So now this is going to bring me back 0, 1, 2, and it's going to put that text, Tuesday, into my new variable called days of week text. So this is really, it has less to do with dates, frankly, and more to do with arrays, but this is something that you're probably going to use as we're trying to turn numbers into text. You could see that we could have a var month, right? And use it the same way. Save work, show web page. So it turns it into Tuesday. All right. So you can see here, here's the format for creating an array, and then we take the number, and I could as easily have put this in as a 2, right? And it would have done the same thing. But what I did was I decided to use that as a variable that was generated using the method getDay off of the new date variable. All right? All right, so those are some cool things. The last thing that I want to show you, is actually can get a little complicated, but I think we're ready for it. First off, this is the easy part. There's another method that we can use, which is to take a date and turn it into a string. So I'm just going to create that date string equals O'Leary birthday to UTC string. And what that does is it just takes the date, O'Leary birthday, which is a date right now, and it changes it into a string. So it looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit different than just the date when we print it out. So let's just take a look at that. It's called date string. So you can see it gives a little bit less information, but still very valuable, or still, sometimes that's what you want. Now the next thing I wanted to do, and we'll see if we're ready for this, is I wanted for you to see I wanted to introduce something we're going to do in the next lesson, which is conditions and comparisons. And that's basically saying things like if this, then that. So what we wanted to do is create a function that compared two dates. So I'm going to create a function called, let's get that out of there. I'm going to create a function called compare dates, right? And it's going to receive a variable called birthday. And then I'm going to call that function from the date work function. So I'm going to say compare dates O'Leary birthday. So it's going to take the variable O'Leary birthday and it's going to send that variable, that date, to this function, calling it birthday for the use inside of the function. And then look what I do. I say var x equals new date. So this is going to be today's date. And then var birthday x equals birthday. So I'm just creating two variables for use, x and birthday x. X is a new date today. Birthday x is the birthday that I sent it from this function, which is my birthday. All right. And then it's a pretty simple statement, but we're going to work on this more in the next lesson. So don't stress if you don't get this. So I'm going to say if and then in parentheses, X is greater than birthday X. So that means if today is later than the birthday, then I want you to do these things. Else, I want you to do these things. And that's as simple as a statement goes. So if X is greater than birthday X, I want you to say something. And if X is less than birthday X, then I want you to do what's in this statement right here. And then I get to decide what goes into those statements, okay? So what I have in there is an alert. And I was having a little bit of a problem with my alert yesterday, so let's just see, make sure that that works. Alert greater than. And then in this case, I'll do alert less than. Okay, so let's see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll just turn it into the demo, changing the inner HTML. All right, but so we're taking this birthday, we're creating a new instance, today's date, we're comparing the two. If today's date is greater than the birthday date, give me this. If not, give me this. So you can see that this pops up and it says greater than, because of course today's date is greater than the birthday date. So I'm running out of time on this lesson, but I want you to look at this code just to see how that works. We're going to work on the if-then statements, or if-else. Well, this is if this, then that, else, then this. These are really cornerstones of processing, and I wanted to introduce these to you quickly so that you can get started with doing some of this analysis. All right?